Vegan. Oh, it says vegetarian. No, it says vegan. The vegan diet has become seriously popular in the last couple of years. I'm not a vegan, but I do know that it means you can't eat meat, dairy, and eggs. Problem is that when you start rummaging through the cupboards to find something to eat, you actually realise that there's a lot you can't touch. And some of them are very surprising. Contains sulfites in milk. Can't have milk. Honey's fine.
What's that?
What? You don't like milk a bee? A ton of people choose to go vegan or vegetarian because they're against killing animals. But more and more people are choosing to go vegan because of one reason in particular: climate change. The sheer volume of meat and dairy that we produce is totally unsustainable, and it's actually really damaging. So if eating meat and drinking milk is that big a problem for the planet, can going vegan save it?
But before we get around to discussing whether it's time to actually ditch the meaty diet, do you know who the first vegans were? Well, some people have been avoiding animal products for thousands of years, as early as 500 BC. Pythagoras, the triangle guy, he promoted a meat-free diet and banned his followers from wearing wool, but he was probably more of a veggie. Vegetarian diets as we know them didn't start properly until the 1800s. The first official vegetarian society was formed in the UK in 1847, and it turns out Gandhi was a member in his 20s. Fast forward to 1944, and this guy, Donald Watson, he wanted to go a step further with his diet and met up with a few friends to try and figure out a name for people who didn't eat any animal products at all. They tried out a few which were a little bit weird.
Very bad.
Phyton.
Venable.
In the end, they just went back to basics and shortened the word vegetarian. That was easy. Now in 2018, hundreds of thousands of people call themselves vegan. Some even have parties to celebrate the diet. Today, there are more than 500,000 people embracing a plant-based lifestyle. And with vegan events like this one in East London going from strength to strength, it's pretty clear how mainstream the movement is now.
You come somewhere like this and you realise how much it's actually moved forward. I mean, you just have to look around and see how popular it is. There are so many people here.
It's a party for everyone though, and you'll find vegetarians, meat eaters. In fact, you'll find it hard to believe it's a meat-free zone at all.
Why I call it chicken?
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It's fake vegan chicken. A lot of people talk about why would vegans even want to eat fake chicken. It's because we do like the taste of chicken, of bacon, of beef, but we just don't agree in taking of the life.
For some, it's about saving animals, but for others, it goes further than that. It's about saving the planet.
I think the issue of climate change is multifaceted. Carbon emissions come from so many other things apart from kind of the meat industry, but it definitely has a large impact.
In fact, an Oxford University study has found that ditching meat and dairy could have huge benefits for the environment. Professor Marco Springman was one of the authors of that study.
The food sector is responsible for about a quarter of all greenhouse gas emissions, which is a really sizable chunk. Changing to a plant-based diet would reduce greenhouse gas emissions by about 3/4.
These greenhouse gases are driving the warming of our planet. The largest body of climate scientists in the world, the IPCC, well, they recently warned that we only have 12 years to prevent warming over 1.5 degrees Celsius. Any more than that, even half a degree, means floods, droughts, extreme heat, and food shortages will become an even greater threat. So how are these guys linked to global warming? Well, because people absolutely love eating them, which means we need a lot of them. We're talking about 4.5 billion cows, sheep and pigs, and 23 billion chickens. In fact, agriculture accounts for about 15% of global greenhouse gas emissions. That's more than planes, trains, and cars combined.
So the thing about any kind of animal product is that you need to feed the animal, right? You need fertilizers, you need water use, you need land use, and all of that produces greenhouse gas emissions.
But it doesn't stop there. On top of all of that, animals also produce a lot of methane too, which traps about 28 times more heat than carbon dioxide. About 80% of the world's agricultural land is used for producing meat, but provides less than 20% of the calories that we actually eat. And beef's the main culprit. Cows need 28 times more land than pigs, sheep and chickens to rear. They eat more than those animals too. Then there's all the water that's needed. It's just so much more intensive. Not only that, but research shows that we could still feed the world with edible crops, but use 75% less farmland to do it. That means reclaiming an area of land the size of the US, EU, China and Australia combined.